Not even his department people that could probably contribute effective on what's happening right now. Um, you know, what I think he really reminds people the most, and the disease had on him. Slowly over time, he was forced into a wheelchair using Intel. It sounded like this. I mean, this is iconic. Um, I think that as a scientist, he had so many major accomplishments, but I think less people would know if he didn't have this motor neuron disease, because it made him basically took control of his life, but through his invention of speaking through the world. So, yes, it was sad, but at the same time, I'll tell you what, this is what makes him stand out. Even children these days probably know because of the way he sounded and the way he looked. But okay, whatever. This man still wrote books. He still had genius, total genius. And let me also, James Learning is here to help you succeed in English. And we do this by helping you through conversation. We help you work on your grammar, your sentence structure. You learn so many new vocabularies through our institution of teaching. We are accepting students right now. So if you're interested in becoming a professional English speaker, look no further than James Learning Center. We don't just teach, we have fun in the process. Okay. Pretty cool background today, huh, peeps? I mean, come on, Stephen Hawking, black hole. I'm not even so sure that this is a black hole. This might just be some really crazy galaxy, but it looks like a black hole because of the rotation. Anyway, like I said early in the program, maybe that was cut off. I don't know, but I'm definitely far from being a scientific expert. I know a little. I do remember Stephen Hawking and many other theoretical physicists throughout the years who had all of these different ideas about time and space, just the idea of our existence. And I think Stephen was the most prominent when it comes to these scientists. So, okay. You know what? I thought we had some vocabulary. Maybe I can, give me 1 second here. Bear with me. Did I mention it's really dark and gloomy all day for the last 12 days here? I just want to live somewhere where it's sunny almost every day. It doesn't have to be every day. I like storms. It's okay for a little bit of gloominess every now and then, but when you hit these streaks, 10, 12, 15, 20 days in a row where it's just cloudy and rainy, oh, that's too much. Definitely too much. Okay. Let's see here. We're going to move on. Let's just read a little bit about Stephen Hawking. Okay. Stephen William Hawking was an English theoretical physicist, cosmologist, and author who was director of research at the Center for Theoretical Cosmology at the University of Cambridge. That's pretty prominent at the time of his death. He was the Lucasian Professor of Mathematics at the University of Cambridge between 1979 and 2009. Stephen Hawking was a mathematical genius. I can't even imagine the equations that went through this man's brain. Okay, he began his university education at the University College of Oxford in October of 1959 at the age of 17, where he received a first-class BA honors degree in physics, of course. He began his graduate work at Trinity Hall, Cambridge in October 1962, where he obtained his PhD degree in applied mathematics and theoretical physics. specializing in general relativity and cosmology in March of 1966. And it was then, actually a little bit before he received this, in 1963, he was diagnosed with the early onset, slow progressing form of motor neuron disease. And this is the same for all you people back in the United States as Lou Gehrig's disease, ALS. That's what he had. It gradually paralyzed him over the decades. After the loss of his speech, he was able to communicate through a speech generating device, initially through use of a handheld switch and eventually by using a single cheek muscle. Achieved commercial success with several works of popular science in which he discussed his theories and cosmology in general. His book, A Brief History in Time, this is his most popular book. Everybody knows this one. Appeared on the Sunday Times bestseller list for a record-breaking 237 weeks. He was a fellow of the Royal Society, a lifetime member of the Pontifical Academy of Sciences, and a recipient of the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the highest civilian award in the United States. In 2002, Hawking was ranked number 25 in the BBC's poll of the 100 greatest Britons. He died on the 14th of March, 2018, at the age of 76, and he lived with this disease for 50 years, more than 50 years. Okay, here I am, and I'm talking about who the most influential people in the world are, and he was only ranked in the top 25 for greatest Britons. Okay, scientists number 1, Britons number 25. Okay, interesting. Okay, moving on. So, I mean, this man was so highly educated. God, and I'm sure just like everybody else, gained knowledge every single day. Okay, 1 second. Can really find, okay, here we go. Award. Let's talk about his awards. This will give you an idea. Can I just get a list of awards? Academy of Sciences, 1992, Andrew Gemant Award, 1998. And the list just goes on and on and on and on. I mean, Breakthrough Physics Awards, crazy. Highly decorated, very highly decorated. And I see, actually, give me 1 second. I apologize. Okay, we do have some vocabulary this week, people. This is rather complicated vocabulary, but nonetheless, very relevant. Relevant? You get it? Stephen Hawking? Anyway. Okay, number 1, material science. Number 2, theoretical physics. Number 3, cosmologist. This is for all of you science students that are watching Jings or watching Englishing with Jings. Number 4, motor neuron disease. Number 5, absolute zero, anti-gravity. Number 7, liquid. Number 8, solid. Number 9, pressure. And number 10, speed of light. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go back through these definitions really fast, so you have a general idea of what these scientific terms mean. So let's go to material science. Okay, 1 second. Okay, material science is an interdisciplinary field incorporating elements of physics, chemistry, and engineering. So basically, material science, You're working with materials or creating and discovering new materials. This was one of his major accomplishments, actually. Okay. Our next word is theoretical physics. Not material science, theoretical physics. Or we can still go with material science. Okay. And abstractions of physical. This is cosmologist. Cosmologist, people. Okay, cosmologist. Here we go. Just like I said, the science of the origin and development of the universe, modern cosmological astronomy and particles. Very sad. Manipulates the muscles, voluntary muscles of the body. So you don't know, your muscles don't know what to do. I know this will definitely be agreement as equivalent to 0 Kelvin or minus 273.15 Celsius, minus enthalpy, and I think we all know a little bit about people in space floating around. This is what we see. Gravity is the force created by the rotation of the Earth that keeps us on the ground and not floating away. Moving right on to the next, right? More compact and more fundamental states of matter. The others and contain the least amount of aspects of this definition. Stops your hand. Have pressure, right? So fast. So physical constant defined. Wow. Interesting. Who are not here today. Ling Ling. Gigi. Tiger. Hi. Hope you're having a good day in Taiwan and Hong Kong. Probably good weather. I hate this weather. But okay. I think we're going to watch a video pertaining to Steve. Interesting. Entries. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. Black holes are so fascinating. I mean, of course you all man, it all sounds, this one's going to be an ongoing debate for some years, I think. Wow, that's just interesting stuff. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can. Give me 1 second, people. I want to some predictions about some, let's just say, not so far away, not so distant years to come. Future somehow.
SpaceX already has reusable rocket probability high-impact events, the whole planet or the entire world. Disaster to planet humans must spread out onto other planets. And there are many giant satellites warned against reaching out and contacting aliens. But he next up, it advances, but also danger, scientific genius. But that doesn't, for example.
Oh boy.
More and more pulled apart and divided. Countries don't work together, then AI may crop up in one country more than another, and it can't be regulated on a global level. Every country in the world is making nuclear weapons as we speak. But who knows, maybe soon politicians will wake up and listen to this genius. That is, before it's too late. Next up, we have climate change. Why we need to go to another planet, for example Mars. But his biggest is the tipping point. The tipping point is where global warming will become irreversible. He said he feared Earth becoming like Venus, where the temperature is 250 degrees Celsius. and the rain there is sulfuric acid, meaning no life can survive. However, Stephen Hawking said all of this must be done on a government level. He said people don't need Elon Musk and Bill Gates, for example, have invested billions into solar-powered energy. I'm seeing as this energy already exists, we don't really need to use coal or nuclear powered energy. I'm seeing as this energy already exists, we don't really need to use coal or nuclear energy, which would...
All true.
And finally on the list, we have far future. So all of these things I've just gone over were his warnings for 2020, which is the immediate future. But what about in the far future, like hundreds or thousands of years away? Well, I've got bad news for you. He said that in about 1 billion years, the sun's current phase of development will swell into a gigantic red ball. This would likely scorch or swallow Earth. And as the sun grows hotter and hotter, Earth may be too hot for human life. But when will the universe will end? And it will apparently end from heat. An increase in heat could end the entire universe. It would we'll all be long gone before that happens. Even so, it is pretty creepy to think that one day all of this will no longer exist. That isn't there in the top right corner, which of Stephen Hawking. But as always, thanks for watching. Check out some more videos on screen.
Okay. Okay, let's just say that I think he was right about everything. I mean, some stuff I think was pretty generally known, but okay, that doesn't take away from the fact that this man knew exactly what was happening all the time when it came to science. So, wow. This is a mind-blowing edition of Englishing with James. People, it's break time. I'll be back, and don't go away. We have more coming right up. We'll be back. English Genius, where we are discussing the genius, the one and only Stephen Hawking. As we mentioned earlier in the show, he suffered from a terrible disease for a long time, actually. And, you know, I think that we should bring a little bit of awareness to this particular disease because it does happen. It's rare, but it does happen. And I don't think everybody realizes what happens during the process. So I'm going to go ahead and share a video. Hawking's personal transformation during this disease. I mean, I think everybody should be aware of this because it happens, definitely happens. So let me share a video. We're going to watch a little video here. Okay. Baby Stephen. Happy kid. Okay, now remember, I think he started experiencing this when he was maybe in his 30s. Or maybe even shortly after college. Really sad, really sad. First diagnosis, motor neuron disease. "28, already in the wheelchair." Always successful. Power of the mind, people. This man wanted to live. He defied the odds. Most people don't live long after diagnosis. So 5-10 years, maybe. He went 50. Always happy, always smiling. You see this? This was a painful life, people. But eventually his hands stopped working, so. I admire his strength and courage. I really do. I've actually experienced people making fun of his condition. I'm not a big fan of that. I definitely had to stop those people. This is the Stephen Hawking that I remember. This look. See, that's my age. 44. This is going to go through every age. Let's just see what it started looking like towards anti-gravity. So cool. So cool. These took control of him towards the end. He couldn't even control his mouth. I admire this man, not just for his mind. Very courageous. Courage, total courage, everybody. I mean, really, just think about the odds that you have to deal with. Wow. And the fact that he was still superior in the science world after having this debilitating disease for so many years is just amazing, completely amazing. Here's another one that I wanted to check out just really quick. His last speech that he ever made, everybody. And this is him.
Can you hear me?
He can still smile.
I'm delighted and honored to receive a special award that may not qualify for the Nobel Prize, because it is very difficult or impossible to confirm experiment. In my case, although almost every theoretical physicist agrees with my prediction, it would never be confirmed or recognized. However, it could be claimed that it has already been indirectly confirmed by observations of the microwave background. It is thought that the very early universe underwent a period of accelerating or inflationary expansion.
This man is so intelligent.
Similar to a black hole, and would give the universe an effective temperature.
The fact that he can do this with
Cause small differences in the microwave background in different directions. These have been observed and agree with predictions. The thermal emission from black holes is important because it shows that black holes have intrinsic entropy, and it shows that there is a deep connection between gravity and the matters. It plays a key role in the ADS-CFT duality. I have also made contributions to cosmology. My early work with Roger Penrose showed that classical general relativity predicted the universe had a beginning in a Big Bang singularity. That the universe had a beginning in the Big Bang 13.7 billion years ago is now accepted by most people working in cosmology, and is supported by the discovery of the faint background of microwaves. The prediction of singularity indicates that classical general relativity breaks down and has to be replaced by a quantum theory of gravity.
amazing.
In Bartle and I propose that the quantum state of the universe should be defined by a path integral over all compact Euclidean metrics without boundary.
So
Boundary. The universe.
to devote your entire life to try to discover why we're here and what everything means.
Showed that the no boundary proposal predicts that the universe began with a period of inflation, a prediction which may be confirmed tomorrow when the data from the Planck satellite are published. I feel a a sense of achievement. I have
Brave.
my motto.
Okay. Oh, come on. No more. Okay. Wow. Wow. I can't stress enough how brave and amazing this man was. Um, it would be so easy to just give up with a condition like this, but he was so smart and so curious and just completely 1,000% devoted to the cause of learning space and time. Um, truly amazing. I mean, it's almost heartbreaking to watch the video that shows the transformation of this ALS disease. He couldn't do anything, just maybe barely wiggle his cheek, and this was enough to communicate and to carry on his research. Um, wow, unbelievable. Um, I really wish that we had a few calling in on this one for their opinions about this man. I mean, okay, I think maybe we can say he was the smartest person ever. Einstein was the number one genius of all time, but I don't know. I think that I have to point towards Stephen Hawking. The man was truly amazing. I need to read these books. Um, I wish I had more time to read. If I did, I think I'd like to get my hands on these books. Um, I mean, especially just a brief history of time, because I have a couple of friends that have read this, and it's truly amazing. So, and like I said at the beginning of the show, I'm definitely no science expert whatsoever. Please don't put me in that category. I enjoyed science in my education, but I don't think it was my strong suit. That's for sure. Um, although I was in some advanced classes, it doesn't mean that I'm an expert. That's for sure. But the stuff that this man thought of, created, theorized with, mind blowing. Nobody else. He was a pioneer. And I'm sure we'll definitely see somebody carry on his torch and become even more intelligent and have even more discovery than he had. But whew, it's going to be tough to try to, I don't know, replicate what he had done in his body of work over the last 50, 60 years. Just a truly amazing man. Um, you know what? Here, I want one more video. One more. I'm learning today just like everybody else. So, okay, find something good here. Hold on. Can you bear with me? Okay, let's see. I want something really good here. Give me a second. Okay, let's check this out. Okay, let's share. Sharing's fun. Okay, this is titled Stephen Hawking Discovers the Ultimate Meaning of
Again, my mother realized something was wrong and took me to the doctor. I spent weeks in parts it was pretty bad, so I didn't want to ask. In fact, the doctor who diagnosed me washed his hands of me, and I never saw him again. He felt that there was nothing that could be done. Best. I seemed to be getting worse pretty rapidly. There didn't seem any point working on my PhD because I didn't know if I would live long enough to finish it. Difficult life may seem, it matters that you don't just give up. And there was
As I
also a
said,
young woman called Jane, whom I had met and appreciate everything I did have. Yes. I have not allowed my most things. My motto is there are no boundaries. When we see the Earth from space, we see ourselves as a whole. We are here together, and with people I love, and growing population. Provide clean water, generate renewable energy, prevent and cure disease, and slow down global climate change. I don't think we will survive another 1,000 years without escaping beyond our fragile planet. Leaders. So remember to look up at the stars and not down at your feet. Seize the moment. Act now. Be curious. And however, just give up. While there's life, there is hope. Be brave. Be determined. Overcome the odds. It can be done.
really depressed and it got much worse. But then he found love with his wife, and that changed everything. And this was probably 95% of the inspiration for him to carry on and finish his PhD and to go on for another 50 years making just amazing discoveries. Wow. I'm definitely inspired today. Speaking of education, I have to say, we're standing by right now and we're accepting new students for Jing's Learning Center, people, where you can perfect your English. We do this through conversation. We help with grammar, sentence structure, and you will learn new vocabulary along the way. Helping you. Our teachers are, wow. I think that if children of now, let's just say our current youth around the world would watch some of these videos, I think they might have to be truly inspired. I mean, to see somebody that had such a bad situation become so successful in life. I mean, you would think this should actually inspire our future scientists. I would think. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe science is boring these days. I don't know. Back when I was a kid, I know science was pretty interesting, and we all had a general interest, most of us anyway. But I don't know, these kids are a little more interested in the tech side of life these days. So, but the tech life is also made by scientists, computer scientists. Bleh. So, science is essential in every aspect, but this science of trying to figure out the reason for existence, how the universe works, how it functions. This stuff's mind-bending. That's the easiest way to describe it, mind-bending. I don't know. I think that, in my honest opinion, I think that somehow Earth will end before we figure out how it functions. I mean, how we function in this universe. But okay, I think we're starting to do a few of the things that this brilliant man suggested. I mean, Elon Musk is definitely preparing for a voyage to Mars. For Mars, it's not suitable for life right now. So I don't know. That still seems like we're hundreds of buddy on Mars, but that's a genius. Wow. I mean, this just puts everybody else's IQ test to shame. Unreal. Mind bending. That should be the word for today. We have to put mind bending in our vocabulary list. And for any of you that don't understand mind bending, just something that's so amazing that it can't truly be understood. Mind bending. All right, I think we should find one more video. I'm learning. This is great. Okay, let's see. One more good one. Stephen Hawking's last words. Yeah, I think we should watch that one. Okay, share. All right, Stephen Hawking's last words, inspiration.
Here something was not quite wrong and took me to the doctor.
We already heard that one. Okay, hold on. Goodness, we could have done a whole class on the story of Stephen Hawking. 1.5 hours. Okay. Okay, hang on one second. Let me be more specific here. Let's see. I just want one of his. Oh, Stephen Hawking had his had his voice beamed into space. Interesting. Let's see. They're calling him the god of science. This is so cool. A Stephen Hawking Navy SEAL speech? No. Okay, here we go. This one seems okay. I found some interesting stuff. Time to share again. Okay. This is a short one. Oh, this might be from the movies.
You have a lost gift.
It is clear that we are just an advanced breed of primates on a minor planet orbiting around a very average star in the outer suburb of one among 100 billion galaxies. But ever since the dawn of civilization, people have prayed for an understanding of the underlying order of the world. And what can be more special than that there is no boundary? There should be no boundary to human endeavor. We are all different. While there is life, there is hope.
So inspirational. This man, God, I mean, he brings tears to the eyes with his, what he used to. He's no longer with us. I have to use past tense while speaking about Stephen, but people were driven to tears during some of his speeches. I remember this, his entire life, and to still be positive and still be inspirational. When you have to compose a list of top 10 most influential or inspirational people, Stephen Hawking has to be on that top 10. It amazes me that he's only in the top 25 for best Britons, people from Great Britain. Okay, I know there's been a lot of really successful people, but I think Stephen should be number one in Great Britain, maybe in the world. So that's a little strange to see that. I don't know. Yes, this has been an inspirational episode of Englishing with James. Very, very inspirational. Doesn't matter how bad the odds are stacked against you. There's always sheer will somewhere deep within, and you can make things happen. Just like he said, you can be good at something. You can always do something well in this life. So, big cheers to, oh, wow. Everything I see with him is truly amazing. Okay, peeps. I just wish there was more participation today, because it would be nice to hear what the youth think about everything that we've talked about today. I would love to hear what Gigi and Ling Ling would say, or Tiger. I don't know. Let's just say that I truly believe that he was the best scientific, and he's my generation of scientists too. Maybe that's what makes me think in this manner. There's been a lot of really brilliant people in the history of man that have had theories and have thought of new things that are changing the way we think, that are changing the way we create. So this man was the best of my time. There's no doubt about this whatsoever. And it was nice to have a little say. I still always had a lot of respect for him and his theory, because it's deep. Not many of us have the ability to think that deep. So now I hope he's looking down on us. I really do. And hopefully we'll have more equals, or I'll just say equals, of his mind, because I don't know if it's possible to match his thoughts so deep. But okay, having said that, this has been a fascinating 30-second edition of Englishing with Jings. It's been my pleasure to be your host, and we will be back. Bleh. Do I get a retake on that one? And we will be back next week with another fabulous episode. So stay tuned. Have a great